Hi, we're still in manifesting school. I'm thinking about it's Saturday here in Los Angeles, and USC is playing. I'm a USC alumni. They're playing UCLA at 12:30, so I'm like, I got a game soon. I gotta get some more videos in. So, all right, let's talk about intuition and trusting the intuition. And there's so many ways to use your intuition, and it's a very unique and personal journey. I'll start there. I'm a lifelong psychic. I've been intuitive my whole life. I've been able to read energy accurately since I was a very small child. Uh, I'd freak the adults out around me what I knew. And so I didn't call it intuition because who does? My grandmother called it psychic for a while. She was like, Amy's psychic. And I just used it to get through life. I used it to get into college. I used it to anything I wanted. I was able to create it using my intuition. And um, I was always a spiritual kid. I always loved God. I wanted to hang out with God all the time. I loved the mystical experience of the divine. And so I had a daily, from a small child, the first prayer my parents taught me, I did it religiously every night. And that kept my connection strong to source, to God, to divine. And through that, I was able to always receive intuitive information. And I'm not saying that your ability to be intuitive makes your life perfect. No, because we're humans having experience here on this earth, and it comes with insecurities and doubts and worries and fears that can distort our intuitive channel. But the messages are always there. And when you open yourself up to them and really allow your intuition to be your guide, you can live this amazing life. And here's the thing, you work less. It's not laziness, it's you work less. You are of this world, right? But you're not in it. And you can create amazing things. And you can have just some of the most transformative, joyful, abundant experiences if you will allow yourself to be led by your intuition. And so, intuition, I will say, it's not something I particularly teach, right? And the reason why is because I developed my intuition naturally, right? Before I called it intuition or anything. And I believe everyone has to come to their own natural approach to intuition. But I'll tell you, there are some ways to start to develop it. Do you have to meditate? No, but you do need to have some system where you get quiet within. There is a centering that needs to happen, and that can be done in the shower, that can be done on a walk, it can be done while you're doing chores and listening to music. There is some centering that needs to happen. It's like opening the door to the divine, that you get quiet within and you allow that space for spirit to come in and bring you messages. Pay attention to signs. That is a way to develop your intuition. What are you seeing repetitively? Jung, is it Jung? I think it is Carl Jung, calls it synchronicity. Yeah, it's real. There are no coincidences. Pay attention to them. And you'll also, as you start to pay attention to them, I'm going to take off my shoes here, you will notice that you'll notice when you're pushing your agenda. You'll also know when you are coming from a wound or emptiness. I knew I had these videos to do today, and I was having this dialogue with someone, and it was so slow. And I realized, I know I have to do this video thing, and it's going to take some energy, and I need to get centered and focused on it. And even though I love doing it, there was a little slowness in the get up and go. And so I was using this communication to keep me from doing what I needed to do. And so intuitively, I knew it. I was like, all right, things have slowed down in this communication. I know this is my sign from within that it's time to get moving on this project. And that's the way the intuition will work. If you don't fight against it. Now, what gets in the way of the intuition? Denial, fear, insecurity, experiences of the past that disappointed us, keeps us from hearing our intuition. And when it comes to manifesting, our intuition is that clear channel that will help us get clear about what we want, so we know what to broadcast. And I do believe that desire is of him, right? And so of her, of spirit. And so our ability to tune in helps us get really crystal clear, that purest, cleanest desire for what we want. And it'll help us clear out what might be getting in the way of what we want. And it'll tell us what we need to do. And we will do less when we start to live a very intuitive life. Now, other things that get in the way of intuition is trying to fit in. Because our intuition is uniquely our own and our journeys are uniquely our own. If we are trying to be of the mass and we are trying to go along, to get along, to fit in, to get love, then it'll be difficult to hear our intuition because the herd might be taking us this way and our intuition may be taking us this way. So find your center, and you can do, I'm not dissing meditation. I meditate every day. But meditation comes in a lot of different forms, and I think we've placed a lot of judgment on what it needs to look like. I'm sitting on a lily pad. No, it's just getting quiet, and however way that looks to you, do it. And, when I date a lot. One of the questions I ask whomever I'm on a date with, couldn't get that in my mouth, is what do you do to feel connected, right? I love this question. I love asking it because it's not about what's your religion or even your spiritual journey. It's what do you do to feel connected? And I mean, I tend to attract really amazing, brilliant men, and they all have such a unique answer. So one man was like basketball, and he did. I knew that about him. He played basketball every week at the same time. He'd been playing with the same people for 20 years. Or one man he likes to fix things, and I knew that about him. So you'll know what makes you feel connected, and go there. And the more that you engage that, messages come through in that space because it opens something up. You are no longer in this world. You're no longer in your hustle. And it opens something up for spirit to come in and give you beautiful messages. And they come in all different ways. Yeah, I could talk about the intuition forever. I don't teach it per se, like this is how you receive intuitive information, because I believe it is your unique journey, but it is something I help you develop if we were to work together. And so to get you started, there are many ways to receive intuitive information. And I'm not, back in the day when they used to teach intuition classes, or when I used to take intuition classes, I know they still teach them. They would teach, either you're clairvoyant, clear seeing, third eye, or you're claircognizant, you really receive messages through your crown chakra, or you're clairsensing, you feel energy, or you're clairaudient, you might hear messages, or you can distinguish signs from the divine through sound. So you might be in a store and you hear something and you're like, oh, that's a message for me. Did I miss any? I think that's all of them. Smell, it might even be a part of it. But through your senses, you're receiving information. I think we all have ones that are stronger than others, but I think they all can be developed, and you can receive messages anyway at any time. Spirit is always trying to get your attention intuitively. So really start to practice your intuition. Pay attention to the things that won't go away, the nudgings, and just as I've explained in this series, you'll get intuitive information, and depending on where you are in your journey, right behind it is probably going to be some low vibe negative message that's going to counter that. And so hold on to it. I think that's a part of really developing your intuition, is even as that message, the negative messages come through, or your lower self comes through, or your ego self comes through, hold on to the intuitive information as long as you possibly can. Write it down if you need to. But what's so magical about spirit is that if you pay attention, it'll keep coming up and keep coming up. So there might be numbers, numbers might be your thing, or, spirit animals, animals that appear in my experience are always a message, and then as you develop your own unique way and approach, and you start to study it, because there are teachers that teach intuition, go out and find, read some books here and there. Don't take on anyone's style, but utilize that piece of that information, and you will start to develop your own unique intuitive dictionary within, where certain things carry a meaning for you. And it's magical. Like, what a beautiful way to live, where and you'll be able to distinguish between your own anxieties and your beautiful intuitive self that is constantly giving you wisdom to transform your life. So this is a bit longer video because I love talking about intuition, and I love talking about the journey of intuition and figuring out all the ways in which spirit is communicating with you. Please dive in right now. Just say, Spirit, I'm so open, show me. I want to know what messages you have for me. And yeah, it's something that I can help you do. I can help you learn to be a more receptive vessel to your unique intuitive style. So until next time, I'm Amy of Intuitive Coaching with Amy. Take care.